Hi everyone, welcome you all to AI powered personal branding and community building session. Here I am sharing top 10 learnings and also top 10 steps to get started with social media and community building and personal branding today. Thank you for listening in. So I'm quickly jumping on to the 10-step process, how you can actually build your own personal brand and community playbook. Here is the framework for you to start today. Step number 1, define your why. What is the problem that you are trying to solve and love solving? So go deep, ask yourself why, and that's where the answer lies. Step number 2, choose your platform. So where are your audience? Focus and start from there. It's a good idea to actually take couple of platforms, for example, LinkedIn and YouTube, or LinkedIn and Instagram, or Facebook and Instagram. So try your platform, couple of platforms, and then see which one amplifies your presence and also where your target audience are there. Step 3, be clear with your own personal branding. A clear bio, a good photograph, a tagline is very important. If possible, go ahead and nail down your color coding of your theme as well. So what is the typical colors or favorite colors that are going to be associated with your brand, and define that for yourself so that it helps people identify what brand and what kind of persona you are and represents yourself in an easier way. Step 4, start sharing. So how do I start sharing? See where you can actually bring value to your audience, to your readers. For example, just create 1 to 2 or 1 to 3 posts per week. It could be in LinkedIn, or it could be in YouTube, or it could be in Instagram, right? So what kind of content that you can actually share? So you can share tutorials. You can share the information that you have read recently, which might be useful for others. You can share a reflection post. The reflections can be weekly reflections, monthly reflections, or like a quarterly reflections, or like a fun-filled memory that which you would like to reflect on, which is something interesting for the readers that you are going to engage. Step number 5, build micro communities. How do you build micro communities? You can identify some of the intimate sources such as WhatsApp, Discord, or Slack. It depends on how much you are willing to go closer to the people, right? So WhatsApp is actually exposing your phone number. So would like to do that? Or if you want to keep it more professional and build a network, it could be Slack. Or if you are Gen Z and then pretty savvy in terms of the latest platforms, go with Discord. So these are the different ways you can actually build micro communities alongside your main platforms where you are actually sharing your thought leadership and building your brand. Step 6, engage authentically. This is very important. You need to actually come from the angle of how and who you are. How can you engage in an authentic way, not just by just creating your posts. You can also comment on other posts and give genuine feedback, genuine responses, and what is your thought on the information that the other person have shared. So it is a community, right? It is basically a place where you are engaging and others are engaging, because others are also humans. So like other people's content if it resonates with you. Share if you think that it might be useful for others, right? Leave a thoughtful comment so that it actually builds more credibility and presence as well. Track and reflect. So which is very important, right? What kind of posts have actually worked. I know recently James, who's here, have been posting the Rockstar comment, was reviewing his engagement and growth, and he came back and shared my Rockstar post was actually one of the top performing post, which I really loved hearing it, and it made my day, of course I should say. So basically, like, identify where your clients are engaging, right? For me personally, when I post, like, a lot of my posts are about, like, IBM specific softwares and IBM specific content, so that drives more value and authenticity. So is something that I figured it out. And also my personal stories, which when I reflect and share, that actually builds more credibility. So these are two different buckets and patterns I have identified. So use your analytics to see how and reflect where your posts are performing better and how you can actually improve it. Step number 8, which is very important, you can use any kind of a large language model. You can use ChatGPT, or you can use Claude, you can use Gemini to, like, generate post ideas, and then, like, rephrase your content and then refine your tone, right? But end of the day, it is your voice. So keep in mind, you are not giving the complete authenticity and complete control to an AI. It's end of the day your thought process that should reflect in those posts, and it should be your voice that should have the flavor of it. Step number 9, use Perplexity, which is really good for research and identifying, like, some of the data and matrices and analytical information, right? So Perplexity is really good in terms of research and article style posts. So use the right tool at the right way so that you are able to actually execute these things in an easier way. So build workflows that can help you as well. Step number 10. This is for really advanced users who want to take the content generation and content creation to a really next level. Is like using Heijen or Synthesia sort of tools, which is basically the AI assisted video content generation tools. For example, you can actually just create your own digital twin that can actually resonate with you, with the audience, and we can actually have your own avatar and your own voice actually cloned to actually sound like you itself. I personally know people who are using Heijen and Synthesia to actually do this and execute it, right? So that's another final step which I would like to leave as a takeaway. And finally, the growth trajectory, right? When I started, I didn't have fancy tools. Like, I just created content in a really intent based and in a consistent fashion. Today, AI accelerates the journey. It's not just the content is actually created on your own just by yourself, but then use the AI tool and then, like, your own creativity to amplify and get engagement quickly and scale it quickly, right? So that's very important. So your own personal content comes first. Define your why and define who and what your audience, and then use the tools to grow further and scale. All right, the takeaway is, like, personal branding attracts a lot of opportunities, and the community will actually come together and amplify them. And also the aim with the adoption of AI, which can amplify and scale you at speed. That brings us to the end of the top 10 tools. Thank you so much for listening. Please subscribe for further updates.